Good evening, free enterprise fans, and welcome to game one of the ZZ6 finals. I am Alicel. I am joined here by Antidale. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well in this later, kind of early, mid afternoon. I don't know. Here in the West Coast, it's 4 o'clock. It's pretty early, but it's game one. Like Ali said, we've got JohnBirckhead in his first finals. First overall finals. He did make the Blue Moon Waning finals and came run up there. He was also semifinals in the waxing side of Blue Moon. And Pankraz is well known for being a multi-tournament winner here. He's won the OMG and LHL tournaments, and he was a runner-up of ZZ4, so this should be a pretty good one.
Absolutely. And with ZZ6, we did bring in modifications, as Chad is talking a little bit about. And we had different modifications that runners could ban out of a list of 5. And tonight's and the finals modification is going to be Earn Your Keep, which is Be No Free.
If I were playing this, I'd be 100% guaranteed to forget it at least one fight every round. I might stop paying attention after hitting Water Hag 3 times, or might try to stone the Baron guards, or something like that.
Yeah, or just staring at King Queen Eblin, being like, y'all.
Yeah, getting up and being like, it's been 2 minutes, why aren't you gone now?
But tonight we do have a cane start that looks like a vanilla palette cane, no less. How dull.
Except that he's the second fastest hero, so our runners will have to contend with that. I know in the semifinals, Pankraz did have fast heroes, and they only got Edge once, and then it was Cecil and Yang, I think, were the other two, so not too much speed, but Kane's a pretty speedy boy. Could cause some complications for some things, and especially with some of those no free bosses, as the rest of the team maybe doesn't get turns to heal or do their fun activities. That could have some problems there.
Well, and speaking of causing some problems, Complete the Giant of Babel is one of our required objectives tonight. It is O of 6, so probably won't see it unless, well, you never know. But yeah, Queen of Town of Monsters, Giant of Babel, Sealed Cave, those are all very fast bosses that'll be just made faster by that cane.
Yeah, definitely wrong bosses can pose some pretty big issues there. We do have a decent amount of requiring key items, though. Darkness gets us just one, it looks like. And then just Underground gets us one other, so it's pretty nice. And we've got a Cecil for our partner.
And starting with a pass here, great item to pick up. I don't see any objectives there on the moon, so probably going to have to come back to the Earth anyway, so pass is great, saves you some time there.
Yeah, gonna depend a whole lot on just where we find stuff and how early we find darkness, whether we're ready to do a very early grind. That'll be one of the interesting inflection points on when our runners find darkness and whether or not they are able to do a grind early and where they choose to go from there. And we do have instant routing divergence in terms of treasures.
Yep, we see John heading here to Damsian, very quick treasures to pick up. But Pankraz heading to Eblin, wanting to spike some of those a little bit higher tier items.
John finding some good plus strength gear there in the basement.
And Pankraz hitting that first monster in a box. There are 3 here, but if you find them early, you can loot without worry. Finding another bandana, though, John there in Damsian. But Pankraz picking up a Sork Robe. I did see a Mute Knife as well, so if we find... oh, that
Yeah,
was
the
just a lot of
Torfax
good
is real
stuff.
nice for back row. Ninja Hat is pretty solid. Like to see DKC starting with the Black Sword. That's the best thing he can start with.
How about you just find one?
And I have one to sell. Yang is taking a shower.
Unfortunately, one of our not-so-free bosses out of the pool. We were discussing early on in the race room and in the booth, kind of just some of those funny bosses that you expect to be free and then they hit like a truck.
You know, Golbez is teaching Palom all the blackest of magics here on Hobbs.
Golbez, great one to see early. This Palom is 100% worth it though, especially for Pankraz finding that Sork Robe. Palom does great work.
Yeah, both runners were absolutely never going to skip this once they saw it. Pankraz does get Kane up in the air, but he comes down too fast. Palom not going to get that Venom off in time.
Yeah, Pankraz unfortunately wanting to kind of stop stop the entangle, but yeah, just didn't get that Venom off. But still shouldn't be too terribly scary as long as we can survive with, well, the Cane. Never mind.
Well, Kane will get XP out of this fight, though, so that's really the best target, especially with DKC having the Black Sword, because he'll have a pretty free Starveil opportunity, given the extra agility that sword gives him.
And John is through that Golbez.
Yeah, Pankraz will be shortly behind. Will does keep his Palom alive. So we'll get a little bit of extra XP on him. Palom should get some level 2 spells out of this.
And that chest there on Hobbs, Medusa Arrow's even more useless than normal.
They're still okay for boxes, but they're probably not going to find any boxes, so...
Yeah, no. I personally love them for the Dark Imps, all guard varieties, but yeah, not going to see that here because they're not free.
Those arrows are not going to earn their keep this time. Am I server muted yet? Hey, a black belt.
And a Charm Rod.
Best antlion in years.
Okay, Pankraz, do the Carter administration chest. It was his birthday yesterday. No. But Pankraz picking up a little bit of time. Well, they're going to kind of go back and forth. Yeah, but who's here at Antlion? It's an Antlion at Antlion. How exciting. But both our runners, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Right in lockstep. And finding adamant, that is a 1/2 of forge, that is an objective. And Kane's got some real good hits in Supersmith.
Yeah, even his worst one isn't bad. Like, Piggy Stick is still going to do some work. It's still better than stuff that he gets normally. There's the Carter administration chest for you. That's an Earth Hammer.
Earth Hammer's a great hammer for the grind of choice.
But we would love to see Gigantax for just some big deeps on We could, depending on whether we get white mages and whatnot, we might be able to swing it with multiple people with some various well-timed berserk casts. And Abel's Lance is also fantastic. We, as chat's mentioning, we could see D Machine grind with an early Abel's Lance because it casts weak.
That would be quite a funny set of circumstances for the finals of this. Ooh, a Thunderclaw.
That's a pretty good shop in football too. Charm arrows too. Even though Palom came with some, they're always nice to pick up. They're one of my favorite arrows. We find life potions.
I love finding life potions in the shops and not in Kaipo.
Kaipo has shops.
It does, and it always has the life potions and the star veils when you really need them.
Next, you're going to tell me that Agrit has a weapon and armor shop.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
But a dark elf here in Fabul. Gonna throw some magic. It's not that big a deal. We're not that concerned.
No, these level 2 elementals are pretty low powered and don't do that much. And then like later at some spots, and when Dark Elf is really speedy, sometimes the weak into Piggy can really mess you up if you are relying on a white mage who gets taken out that way.
But once again, our runners just mere seconds, even though they had quite divergence in their looting.
Yeah, and Pankraz is generally getting through the fights a little bit faster. Hey, it's Magma Key. I did not check and see how many sirens that they got to start with. If they got multiple, you'd be very tempted to pop a siren and get Quake on Palom here. If you only had one, it's a lot harder of a decision.
And another black sword to sell. And JohnBirckhead finding an elixir. I love to find just a panic elixir. Whatever I do seeds, because there's always going to be a circumstance you could use a panic elixir.
But what if there's a circumstance later that you could use it better?
I am of the school of permadeath from Beyond Chaos. You can't use it if you're dead.
I mean, that's fair.
But finding more star veils, John is going to have to sell quite a bit of stuff, but definitely want a few star veils, a few kamikazes.
Yeah, kamikaze is really sweet for either speeding up, getting people out of the way for the harp cutscene, or for any of the crumble spots for bosses, making it so that you don't actually have to watch them crumble if you kill them with a kamikaze.
The swag kamikaze on Zeromus to skip that, even though you're not technically saving time.
Flurry, I've heard, is pushing for a 5-minute time save on the swag kamikaze.
I could see it. But Pankraz heading here to Baron. Let's see what John wants to do.
We get an Evil Wall guarding a Sid, so that Earth Hammer that we found will be probably pretty useful pretty soon. John also heading straight to Baron. Neither one of them wants to actually go underground.
And John finding an Asura summon. Those are good. I believe that a white mage is guaranteed on this flag set.
Yep.
Oh. Oh.
Well, we're going to be here longer than we expected.
Well, I think this would be a great time to shout out the back of the booth. We've got NG Dave restreaming and Roddy Roddy Sniper on tracking, pushing all those buttons, making things look nice. Fantastic folks. And again, my co-commentator is Antidale. It's been a hot minute, and I'm really glad to be back in the booth with you.
Yeah, I took some time off, but slowly coming back out of retirement, maybe, for at least booth things.
Well, I did also kind of strong arm you into this.
I mean, you asked. That's not quite a strong arm.
But I made sad faces while I did it.
Through the power of text, I did see no sad faces.
But as Chad is pointing out, any sort of elemental lance would be great for this. John just says no.
I missed it. Did he get into some sort of trouble there to where he might have had some issues in one of the fights?
I also missed it. I was too busy looking at chat. And 2 sirens. So John is going to go ahead and pop one of these. Get Quake on Palom would make this fight a little bit faster.
Yeah, definitely would make it faster. xPankraz might, with that virus that is picked up on Palom, just head straight up ordeals. Turn Cecil into a paladin and get then use the egg on Pally Cecil rather than on DKC.
Paladin Cecil with more health and more levels is a great thing, even though you're less likely to find the big holy sticks. Cover Cecil is still very good. Oh, that is a Baron Key.
Hey, we can access the basement throne now. Will be interesting to see if and when John comes back to this. He might say, I just never want to do that gauntlet and hope nothing's here, which could be pretty bad.
Yep, even though only one objective on the board is blocked by this, there are 2 key item spots. So if there's a chaining key item in either one of these spots, that could be pretty nasty.
Yeah, or it could be one of those precious white mages sitting there at behind the Baron throne.
I like a good white mage. Rosa would be great, but I'll take a Porum. I'd even take a Rydia. Give her the Asura. 2/3 healing. And if you're going to find Dark Knight Cecil in this flag set, this is where you would like to find Dark Knight Cecil in this flag set.
Yeah, it's one of the lowest attack power spots, so that Cecil's going to merely tickle and doesn't take much to kill him. So very happy, I'm sure John is, to see that DKC off the board.
Absolutely. At the Queen of Town of Monster spot, that would be miserable. If he's on the Giant, that's miserable. But we got a Sparkle.
And a second no free boss up here on the mountain. So just knock them right out.
And I just noticed that our Cid is the best Cid. He is canonically shirtless.
I mean, I guess he doesn't want to wear a shirt in a cannon.
I mean, he's Eric the Red. But both our runners getting through their bosses very quickly. And yeah. Is John going to go ahead and save, or just say, I think Kane can do this?
You're pretty safe with just saying Kane can do it. Wyvern or Val are pretty much like the worst case scenarios, and Kane should be fine for Val. You've got Sid and uh, Alan doing enough damage, but we just got Mom Bomb here. It's obnoxious, but it'll be fine.
Ooh, but that is a big hit.
Well, we have everywhere we can possibly want to go, kind of.
And that does give us our grind. Once our runners find a 5th character, because you don't want to grind without your white mage.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best idea, but all sisters are gone. Kane beats him up with a flame spear. We're gonna get a Palisessel on John's side and maybe quickly see who's up on the moon.
And seeing sisters there, that is a great spot to see them. They can be in some pretty nasty locations and do terrible things to a party.
Yeah, they're one I wouldn't want to see at the Asura spot, although Pankraz does have that Rune Axe, which I don't think John does. So that is one notable difference. Well, there's that Rydia you mentioned earlier. I guess we'll take her.
Is tiny child.
I could definitely see Pankraz wanting to temporarily get rid of her for a little bit. She is, unless we get Leviathan, going to be less useful than Pelham in the early game. And then he'd be very happy to slingshot her later on, once he gets Darkness Crystal and feels ready to do his grind.
Now, something chat brought up earlier is mages are a little bit harder to use with a fast anchor like Kane. Oh, but there's a hook. I don't know how that helps us, but there's a hook.
Gives us a character check. Couple of shops. Yeah, the black mages are slow in general. They are slower than the white mages for the most part. And some of the spells that aren't nuke take a while to get out, so you get a lot less damage per second from them too. So it does make it a little bit harder to use them. But definitely not impossible, and if you're slinging 2 nukes, you don't really care.
Yeah, nuke does tend to be pretty fast.
And just does a lot of damage.
And like our restreamer points out, removing the damage source counts as healing.
And so the Spire, that is attack cards or block cards.
Dig?
Big. I think Yang would probably be most of Slay the Spire chat's favorite character because he uses Claw.
Yeah. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, good night, Rydia.
John, very quickly checking the character up here, probably looking for that white mage. Only has three characters right now, so probably anything would be beneficial.
Yeah, and chat earlier was taking a little bit exception to my John might fade Baron in for a while, but with Darkness and the ability to go underground, okay, not getting a character on the dice definitely makes it more likely he'll just accept Sid for a bit. But he does have Dwarf Castle here, and just going to do Dwarf Castle now instead of doing Baron in where you know you're getting Sid and you don't really care. And you'd have to do a gauntlet. Like, Dwarf Castle is way more interesting than going back to Baron Inn, so I am not surprised by this at all. We get a character here, we get lots of experience. It's going to be new information for him in a few different ways, and he'll feel like it's faster.
I'm a little disappointed that we don't have a samurai shield because I was feeling all of that samurai gear. But I'm also very easily amused. And finding cabins any sort of camping source on these flags is fantabulous. There is nothing worse than being stuck up on the moon with no camping gear.
And there's John's own dwarf axe. Hey, there's a samurai shield for you. No purchase, though.
Sad.
Ian's going to throw out some big numbers here against the sisters.
Kane Angie.
Be interesting to see if Pankraz is willing to purchase that poison axe that we just saw John not buy, since he has the rune axe, but that doesn't do good stuff against ogres or giants rather. So it isn't useful for the Mac Giant grind, but that poison axe is, even if it's not great for it.
And another one of our not free bosses. Our free not words.
Yeah, and this is a kind of annoying fight. John doesn't have a lot to do to them. Cecil with cover is going to be good. There was an Aegis shield, so like you'll get through it eventually if he did buy that. But there's no way to stop their counters here, so we'll see people turned into pigs. Guess not. They tried though.
Yeah, this is the Vanilla Calcabrana spot, which I don't know what any of the numbers are anymore. If this is a high magic spot or not.
I don't think especially. It's more, I always think of this as annoyingly high hit point spot.
But looks like John wants to set up this Palom for a slingshot. So intentionally taking him down.
Yeah, and I know Flurry earlier this tournament, who John did beat in the round of 16, talked about once you get Palom to Quake, that's about where he can stop, especially if you have a bunch of stuff to do forward where you can now get the rest of your team online. And then he can still be useful in a lot of fights, but he doesn't need the XP, and you can send him out to Sling later.
Yep, and Kane is going to do very big deeps for a while. Oh, and there's Valvalis.
Hey, we get a monk.
That was a Bahamut.
Well, Pankraz will be really happy with that.
And I didn't see, did John check the bunny shop up here?
I don't recall. I don't think so. There's honestly not a lot that they might be looking for, like maybe some Q3 pots, but I think John's still kind of broke. And maybe some silk webs, but again, John's still kind of broke.
Oh, ooh, oof. That Val just deciding not today.
Yeah, that got to make John feel pretty bad. And one thing about gameplay, just from watching them and watching their streams when they play a little bit, the reaction to hard times can sometimes be very different. Pankraz is just pretty affable most of the way through and just like interested in how to figure it out, where John can kind of beat himself up about stuff. So hopefully this doesn't stick with John too much and doesn't like cloud his judgment throughout the rest of the seed.
Well, and him heading back to this Baron Inn, gonna find that Baron key and just gonna lead him to a couple of nice things. Access to an objective, Iridia, a Sid, all of these very good.
Yeah, this is definitely really good news for John. Hopefully it'll make him feel better that he came back to do this, even if he is spending some extra time just coming through and doing these fights. Some of these fights a second time. Yeah, it looks like Pankraz is interested in that poison axe. Yep.
Sell everything.
Buy one. RF is in chat asking if people had checked the hook character, and they haven't, and I think that's mostly because exit isn't on anybody quite yet. We definitely would not be surprised to see xPankraz maybe check Feymarch here, which he's doing, and then go and maybe pop an egg. That'd get him exit on Cecil, and would just make the entire route to and from the Eblin Cave a little bit faster. Hey, did you want a free poison axe? Because you can get a free poison axe.
xPankraz did not seem pleased with that.
No, that was the equivalent of dropping bombs from Link in Link to the Past, or some sword slashes.
And still hasn't hit that monster chest yet, so probably done. No. Just get an ogre axe too.
Yeah,
just everybody gets an axe. Sid gets an axe, and Cecil gets an axe, and Kane gets an axe.
Bees and a protect ring.
Soa drops. And xPankraz is giving us a little check here. That was very unhelpful.
Just a twinkle in my eye. Well, we know it's not Pale Dim.
That really doesn't make me feel any better.
Yeah, xPankraz does not care about finding out yet. He's not in any position to deal with them.
Yeah, I don't think any of them would be doable. Even Plague.
No, yeah, no, Plague's not really going to happen right now. We haven't seen Silkwebs, I don't think. Maybe would have enough to like have two people handling like knock somebody off and bring them back to life strats, and have a one person attacking. That's a real long fight, and that ain't fun.
Nope. Better to just check your freebies, check your objectives. Want to check this Kane, and probably head back to the overworld.
Yeah, I will be interested to see if we do get a check on the cave, on Cave Eblin. I'm a little surprised we didn't see a siren pop from xPankraz there, but who knows?
Might just be holding out for that white mage.
Yeah, that's very reasonable.
But John, wisely remembering there is a sparkle here at the first spot, so decides to save.
Well, that's an objective. Thanks, Sheila.
And
it's a character. Yeah.
What would you want to see at Sandy?
Rosa. 100% Rosa.
Yeah, I think Rose would be a great hit. Even a Porum would be good. That's not what I want to see.
No, free end show though. Free end, goodbye.
Yeah, get out. Nobody likes you.
That's, I mean, factually untrue. There are many members of the community like Edward. He's even good sometimes. But he's not interesting in this seed and this flag set. Terribly.
No, we haven't found a spoon. We haven't even found any good bows. But xPankraz is going to go ahead and raise the hovercraft. I think we are going to see a character check. And chat asking why we didn't take the Bard over Sid. Sid does real good things in a Mac Giant grind.
Yeah, and he's a huge HP buffer if you need it later. He's not going to be fast and keep up with Kane necessarily, but if he's around to toss an elixir, a couple of Cure 3s, that's like all he needs to do, and might be a lot more than Eddie does in a Z fight.
I love a good Sid chemist in a Z fight.
He does disperse the paracetamol very well. Hey, Cure 3s.
And xPankraz saying, no thanks.
xPankraz also just entirely not caring about any of these chats. He's looted plenty. He's got his goods. He doesn't need stuff anymore.
Well, and if this is a dupe, probably just going to completely reset out.
I mean, Edge is okay, but
yeah, but he's necky. He doesn't even come with the good stuff.
no, and the good stuff is like we'll only be able to buy longswords for him, which means he's not gonna we're not gonna be able to shop and make him great. xPankraz has a rune axe, so he doesn't need Edge for a mute knife wielder. I guess he will take Edge over Sid, though. That is fairly reasonable, I guess.
The audacity.
Of hope.
I am upset.
I think the game sets you up to make you upset.
It does that.
And it definitely sets Sid up the bomb.
And JohnBirckhead finding the worst chest here. I hate this chest. I have died so many times to it because it is sneakily terrible.
Yeah, the sleepily terrible part about it is the sleep that they can inflict. And it gives very poor XP, like only 4,200, and the rewards usually aren't great. And I will not be silenced. That is still not a great reward.
Silent staff is best staff.
Yeah, but you want like a white mage to put it on, and Ride doesn't count, even though she can wield it.
It doesn't make her sylph or her Asura better.
That's correct.
I tested it. Some people look into the code. I just do the grunt work.
Finally, we get Siren usage parity. Well, at least Edge did come with the appropriate claw.
Rydia seemed to like get hit further over than it seemed necessary.
Swoon. Swoon. Oh.
Did not mean to swoon that one.
Nope, we're gonna bring him back.
Totally as intended.
John here using his other egg.
Both runners gonna go ahead and get ready for what I would guess would be a grind.
Yeah, I think so. We're gonna egg him on for it. Get rid of that bad ancient sword right in the egg's face.
And John heading back to Dwarf Castle, but xPankraz heading back up to the overworld.
Yeah, John either wants revenge or he clearly wants to buy some stuff again. More plus strength gear for Pankraz.
John wanting to pick back up that dwarf axe and probably wants to get a poison axe here. Just make things a little bit easier in the fight.
Yeah, so also getting a bunch of defensive gear, so he'll be able to just cover through the fight here. Pankraz setting up Kane to slow him down a little bit to therefore speed everyone else back up just a second.
And we're counting.
Life's a beach.
And it looks like Pankraz is ready, gonna head up to the giant.
Yeah, meanwhile, John checking out the Fame March. We'll see if he also does Sheila and achieves check parity. I can totally see John skipping Sheila right away. Just because not really. There's not a lot he would get if he's intending to go straight to his grind, where Sheila makes a lot of sense to do here. But checking this and seeing the bosses makes a lot of sense for John, just getting an idea of how far he wants to go with his grind and whatever.
Now, Pankraz knocked down both Rydia and Palom, whereas John only knocked down the Rydia, so gonna need a few more levels on that Palom to get both runners or both kids up to nuke.
And John very uninterested in also finding out what sparkle awaits him at the Queen and Monsters spot. Way Pankraz is walking, he's going to go do the rest of the giant after this. Most of the time, people stop at the very top once they get to this floor and walk back and forth. Then they're just going to just exit out right away. But as he's walking to go deeper into the giant, it's a good sign that he's just willing to bite the bullet and do the giant, which makes a lot of sense because they have a lot of stuff to do. I might as well just make it out of the way. Well, John's still shopping.
I'm curious what he's looking for.
Silk webs?
Silk webs would be nice.
Maybe illusions, but I don't think you can find illusions in that shop.
So he saw illusions in Tamra.
That's true.
Did he ever find life potions?
Maybe not. I would hope he would have, but maybe he skipped the Fabul shop check. I know he was in the weapon shop.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what he is looking for in this.
It always feels bad to me to because they're not guaranteed to see silk webs, so they could just not be in the seed, and you could spend a lot of time not finding them. Which is why I don't really like searching this far for them. If he's looking for silk webs, cure 2s, I guess maybe he's looking for curatives. Without a white mage, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that is fair. Although, yeah, you're right. Our runners have not found a white mage yet. That's going to be a very interesting. You find your white mage after your grind.
I mean, Edge is pretty disposable, I think. It could also be influencing Pankraz's decision to finish the giant and see the carrot at the end, if he's actually going to do that. Because he is, like, we're starting to get to the point where we've got to find one of the two.
Yep, they are required to be in the seed somewhere. Although them both being behind Zot would be pretty funny.
It's pretty funny and entirely plausible. And we do get 3 duplicates, but there's no guarantee that any one of them is duplicated. And this has seemed to be a little bit of an awkward grind for Pankraz. He's not getting a lot of like double life glitches. In fact, I think he missed the life glitch entirely earlier. He does do a lot of damage there, though.
Yeah, I think he must have that poison axe equipped.
Oh yeah. But we'll see Kane's numbers be dramatically different at times. It's pretty low accuracy. Middle slot helps, but still isn't a panacea.
But with this Palom down, or with this Palom at low HP, ooh, is that a double?
That is a double.
Ooh, baby, a double. But yeah, Palom is going to get covered by Cecil, which is great. Just kind of helps with turn order and being able to get off more life glitches. And another one.
Yeah, now the double's coming. He's got it more sorted out, it seems.
And Flurry in chat asking, y'all think it's worth it to damage tile into auto cover?
I think it depends on how far you have to go for it. It seemed like Pankraz wanted to heal up fully before, because he had a couple people down, got his grind, and then took a cabin. So he seemed like he wasn't going to. So I think it's really dependent on when you decide to do your grind and what your plans are. But I do like keeping it as a strategy in the back pocket.
And that tiny child just got 49 levels.
Hey, that's the exact number needed. Good job.
The other small child got some number of levels, but I don't know how many he had to start with.
31. And he got the right amount, at least. And we get a cabin. Hooray!
Yay, cabins! And this is the part of the seed where we microwave things.
Yeah, we're gonna slow Kane down as much as possible. We're gonna try to equip people with stuff, but Rydia is just gonna whip it, and then we'll see how everything goes.
So, what would be here that might make Pankraz say, nah, I'm good?
Ogo, probably. Ogo in the Giants with the no white mage and relying on black magic's a pretty bad time, as Pankraz's opponent in the quarterfinals, I think, found out. But that's not a worry here. Whichever Milana this is going to fast disappear from the screen.
Turns out both Mylons are weak to nuke. Edge is helping.
That's what he calls it, yes.
Rydia taking a 1,000 damage hit to the face and just shrugging it off is great.
And Rydia is not casting Nuke because she's not, with just a whip in hand and no plus to her stats other than that. She's not going to hit quad 9s, and she'll probably pretty beneficially benefit from getting Fire 3 and the extra damage from there. Yeah, even Fire 3 only 6k, like oof.
My girl.
Hell, I'm hogging all the gear.
Absolutely unacceptable.
But he's a prodigy.
And sometimes he needs to be smacked upside the head by his sister.
Facts.
And unfortunately that Rydia goes down, but now going to be in auto cover territory.
Edge helpfully throwing the Cure 3s at not the party.
They all look the same. I mean, we did use a life potion on Rydia. They're all just mindless zombie corpses. xPankraz plus.
He gets the fight done, he gets a little rearranging down, Kane's still gonna get XP, everything's good, and he's out of that fight before John is done with his grind.
Did we see how far John went into the giant?
He was not just sitting at the top, so I think they'll both probably take the same approach here and just do the giant. Wouldn't be too surprised to see them both come back to the blue planet and do the basement throne and probably the queen spot and the king spot, and then from there it's a good question of what they want to do. But pass in hand, a little bit of a moon dip, hopefully hit something pretty solid like a pan, maybe a tower key or whatever, is definitely in the cards.
And we've got an octo mammoth here on the moon. Because spaceships are made of water.
Water is really good radiation shielding, so it makes sense.
And you can use them to go further into the depths of, like, Jupiter. I've been reading too many science fiction novels lately.
Would Octomam like to be in the Great Red Spot?
I mean, wouldn't you?
I mean, if I'm like, no, in my last days, sure, like send me to Jupiter and I'll go like see it firsthand. But until then, nah, I'm good. Also, that was 3k that Rydia took from being in the front row, but she's alive again, so she gets levels.
And we get a glimpse at another character. Is it a dupe? Is it a white mage?
Duped.
So that means
we got package, we got Zot.
Thanks, I hate it. Well, the runners hate it. I think it's great.
I mean, depending on how each runner thinks about their performance relative to their opponent, one or both of them might feel really good about it too. Like, if you feel like you're practiced at white mageless runs, you're thrilled to see all these zonks happen on finding a white mage.
But xPankraz all finished with the moon for a bit, and just like you said, heading straight back to Baron.
Yeah, we're back to the do your freebies, do your objectives portion. We've got objectives to go do that can give us key items, so let's go do it. Let's talk to a guard that almost never gets talked to, so that's fun.
Did he say something about Ghostbusters?
I think so, yeah. Who are you gonna call?
The Marshmallow Stay Puft Boy?
And Concuss in chat saying that doesn't see John making up the time in this one. John won't make it the time if he keeps running in a straight line. If he hopefully he feels like he's behind for double dipping Baron in and not trying but not succeeding at Dwarf Castle, and decides to play as though he's behind and has to take a gamble. And it looks like that's what he's gonna do. He's not doing the giant. He's gonna go do some other stuff first. Also, neither to nuke, as Vic saying in chat, is a pretty big deal. You want nuke, and if neither of them got to nuke, that feels bad, and you definitely are not going to finish the giant that way.
And now we've still got quite a few key items that are missing. We've got, gosh, harp, package, Luca key, the other half of forge.
Yeah, we need half of those.
So yeah, if you can find some items, and John buying 50 life potions, that checks out. That how many life potions is proportionate to how badly you needed them and didn't have them. But looks like also going to head here to Baron Castle and going to find this Lugae.
And get a Gungnir. Hooray!
Yay.
A mild improvement over the Rune Axe.
But that is our third objective from xPankraz. We'll see where he goes next. Still have Dwarf on the table. Still have Top Tower. And the whole moon.
Yeah, and I feel like you've got to at least check the Fey March at this point. Hopefully Queen isn't Ogopogo.
Oh, I completely forgot. I forgot the Fey March existed.
Yeah, xPankraz, thankfully for him, has not, because that's one of our objectives.
I'm really kind of hoping we see an Ogopogo at the Queen spot. I just think that would be funny.
Definitely funny, definitely possible to get through, but rude is all get out. If we're doing some damage down stuff so that Cecil can do auto cover, we could. xPankraz has good knowledge of the game and knows that Ogopogo is going to open by doing half damage. So if he gets people down to just above half, except for Cecil, then they can auto cover for a little bit. And maybe give him enough time to beat the boss before horrible things happen. But boss is speedy, Kane is speedy, some of this party is not speedy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Now, you probably don't want to go into this fight poisoned. I'm just saying.
I mean, xPankraz says, I don't care. Do what I want. This is fine.
Game does not like your characters being purple when it does the count status.
Game doesn't like anything that's doing the count status.
Yeah, that checks out. But we're seeing some nukes flying.
Oh,
That damage feels bad.
Yeah, I mean, Pankraz's small children are very well at risk of taking a little bit of damage to the face from being poisoned and being offed, but Blake's dead, so it's fine.
Also, Poisoned Cane jumping is now my favorite thing because he doesn't get out of the ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty. Kane goes faster.
Cane hits things real hard. And if you manage to maybe get something nice for that Cecil and you get the forge, everybody gets a nice thing at Zeromus. But Pankraz gonna saying, yeah, I think I'll take on this other boss too. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, while you're here, you should check on it. This is fine-ish, question mark.
Ish.
Like, we're going to lose some people to this first flame, and we just got to accept that that's going to happen.
Looks like we are just gonna go for some frogs.
Yeah. Very reasonable here. We'll probably bring up children pretty soon. Maybe not. Maybe there won't be time to get them lifed up and veiled, but Pankraz is sure trying. Womp.
One frog.
The worst of all possible ones where it frogs the first one so it can't breath and try and refrog the back one, but Pankraz was just doing, attacks the front frog. Front frog then, being the one being attacked physically, says, cool, I'm gonna do our script and I'm gonna be the one that casts wall. But a frog can't cast wall, so no wall happens, and now Back D Lunar is going to virus the frog until it dies.
Just a little bit of friendly fire, it's fine.
Yeah, and then we're gonna nuke the back one so that it dies faster.
But JohnBirckhead heading back to Dwarf Castle. We haven't seen what's here at this spot. Could see one of those key items we're looking for.
Yeah, we'll have a much easier time this time around. Whoops.
That doesn't seem great. Cecil, smash.
Mission accomplished. Just less than desirable. Well, we got a good dart.
And we'll see. Does Pankraz want to finish off the blue planet, or are we just like, nah, let's go up to the moon? Moon seems good.
Moon stonks go up.
And that Bahamut goes through Valalis' spin, and John is through.
Yeah, actually having a number of characters rather than just 3 who were still kind of low level, like the spot itself isn't that scary, or the goal was a spot, but Val's a punchy boss, and that spot gets some decent punchy values. But this could be huge for John. Like, this is his main way of getting back into this. Like, he knew it wasn't a white mage, still came back and did it anyway because he wanted probably Bahamut a little bit and just to get a little revenge. And it's probably something Pankraz skips. We get a tower key. It's going to keep John on the blue planet a little bit longer, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, but If he goes tower, that's 2 more checks that Pankraz has not done. He is going to do this Fey March first, though.
Yeah, very understandable to go get this done. Just so that you can mark that objective off, get his second on the board.
And Pankraz heading straight down. Not going to take on the Mura altar.
No play for density, although Murasame altar has been a very key altar in a number of races this tournament. As Flurry alluded to earlier, definitely been a decider. It could be again here, who knows? Not a lot in anywhere that's going to scare these runners at this point. Ogopogo is still real bad, just because of the uneven amount of healing possible. Rydia can help out, but still isn't the greatest fight for a non-white mage team.
Well, and I don't know that Pankraz found the Asura summon, so...
Yeah, I was definitely not paying attention, but even if he did, it's still not reliable and can be issue laden. Kane, Cecil's going to borrow some of your clothes. It's okay.
They'll just make you hit things harder. It's great.
Yeah, Flurry, I wonder if that was part of the decision for John too. He cut for whatever reason, his grind was short, and he knew where Bahamut was, so he could at least rely on that a little bit.
So you know what would be a really good boss to throw that spoon at?
CPU?
Yeah. Also, Cecil, please hit something useful.
I mean, he's doing okay. He's hitting the CPU a good bit.
But can we hit the one that's going to heal the rocks?
Ellen's got it.
Plan Q. Or just kill it before the Globe 99 comes out. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Cecil was doing the right thing. Well, hey, that's a key item we definitely want, and a key item we maybe want.
Pankraz would yeah, nah.
Did take that nice save there, though, so if this rat tail doesn't turn into anything, we'll just come back. We probably won't see a forge yet. But this also could be a good enough excuse to be like, okay, now I'll clean up the rest of the blue planet. We got 2 things out of K-Moon. Math says that, 3 is pretty reasonable, but not guaranteed. So bailing on 2 is not a terrible idea sometimes.
Of course, sometimes the seed has 5.
For sure. You got to play this all by ear. John, however, not taking the tower key information and actually, using the tower key. So just using Dwarf Castle for Bahamut, which is kind of a feels bad. I think I disagree with this choice.
Is heading to the Bahamut spot though, so if this is something good, oh.
That's something good for Pankraz.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, actually.
So yeah, we're gonna forge. We're gonna unlock a sealed door cave and go fight something masquerading as a wall.
It's gonna be fast, but it doesn't have that much HP, and we've got an Avenger, and we're gonna have a forge from Kane's pool, so we're probably fine. We don't really have to worry about anything.
We even have a drain spear.
Hype. Hey, we got sirens.
Lol.
We get a piggy stick, the worst of the options, which is still a fine option. And we have a water hag here who is not free and going to punch a lot and very hard.
This is a very scary water hag.
Yeah, John at least does have the Asura, which, you know, if people are dead, it's going to help. If people are low on health, it's going to help. So he's all right.
Does water hag even have any weaknesses?
No.
I mean, I guess like all things, he's weak to nuke. And Bahamut, dragon gods.
I mean, sure, but like that's just a shared weakness. There's no actual exploitable weakness here. Per game mechanics exploits. Punch.
Yeah, water hag, very angy.
Yeah, luckily this isn't like a huge HP spot. We're down, so like it's fine. Edge doesn't get an XP, but we don't really care about Edge.
Somebody got nuke.
Hooray! A pretty good upgrade for Kane from Gungnir.
But unfortunately not a key item that's going to lead to Magnus and Village Mist.
We found a ninja shirt, and you said there was a drain spur earlier, so we got our meme kit all together.
I mean, I'd put a ninja shirt on Edge. It's not very often he can take advantage of it. Bahamut would be really nice for this fight.
I mean, Meteo's good. I think even Quake does it at this point. This Meteo's just a little bit swaggy, I guess. Yeah, Cal's only get 2230 here. Just the Quake would have done you just good.
They get so many turns.
Sure, which does kind of actually help the Meteo, because each turn that they take makes you just have to sit there less, kinda, sorta, maybe. But hey, that's number 6.
That's a crystal. Also, I just realized that our runners did their grind with no 10 key items. That is just the 11th for Pankraz.
Yeah, I mean, but early darkness, they had 2 sirens to get Cecil up a lot to handle even without the white mage. Pankraz had set up his slings really well, so kind of makes sense. Alum, give me a lot of your stuff. Rudy's got to do something in this Z fight.
What does she have to do in the Z fight?
It's just to cast Nuke and have it do more than 6,000 damage.
Fair. Fair.
So we got to help out the small child, since Pankraz did not loot the chest in Antline with the Charm Rod.
And I don't think went back for the mute knife either.
Nope, he's just got that one Elven Bow for weapon +5 to Black Magic stat.
Okay, can we talk about how clean those warps were? That was very attractive.
Yeah, they're good. xPankraz is good at the menus and the stuffs.
I would have missed it 6 or 7 times. Sometimes I don't even do it because I'll just be like, it's faster for me to just walk than fail. But I think xPankraz is ready to take on a boss.
Is it undercover boss?
Oh, I hope not.
You don't want to see him take on the head of the garbage company, whichever one that was in a very early episode of that show.
I haven't watched that in years.
Yeah, but we got Zemus. Zemus is changes faces. He's an actor, a thespian.
And a master cosplayer.
Today, I do not think he'll be in the Scottish play. However, I don't think we'll see any Romeo and Juliet.
Macbeth Miss Wen.
Oh my gosh, you can't say that name. He just gave the entire Restream team bad luck for 7 years. Can't believe it.
I'll make my problems all y'all's problems.
I am, but whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
I hope that it is a fantastic bud that doesn't lie.
Will its hips lie?
Well, I'm not sure.
Does it have hips?
Or does it have humps?
Is it made out of black-eyed peas?
Well, we are about to see. It's sure something.
Yeah, I know I've seen it before. I'm sure someone's even told me what it is. But it's got a big sword and a shield.
Yeah?
And it's getting nuked.
Yeah. Rydia, for heaven's sakes, we gave you nice things.
Not nice enough things. Wendell, I'm not content. John does not know that he's in Go mode, and he's actually not in Go mode because he hasn't visited Sheila yet, but decides he's had enough of the moon, getting that forge and the rat tail.
And did he turn in his rat tail or not yet?
Nope, he just went straight from the moon to the giant to go complete that. Now that he's got some more XP, and I think probably has a nuke on everybody that's going to get it.
But xPankraz is throwing anything and everything at Gariamus. We still don't know where he's from, but he's got some really nice pauldrons.
And our tracker, Roddy Snipers, is pretty sure that this is the super boss from the FF4 3D remake. So, like,
oh my
dating
word,
like
it is.
the probably Cecil's big weapon, I would guess.
Yeah, no. Y'all are right. It is from. Where is Alchemy when you need her?
Asleep.
As I would love to be.
It's like 8:30.
Look. I am old. But I think with that nuke staying on the screen, that is GG for Pankraz.
Yeah, very good GG. Wins game 1 of this best of 5 series. Games 2 and 3 are coming up on Sunday. We'll get you more accurate times and stuff then. But GG's to Pankraz for winning game 1 here.
And while we see if we can get Pankraz in for an interview, let me get you those times for games 2 and 3. We have a double header starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, going into games 2 and 3. And then next week, I believe next Wednesday is what the voices tell me in the channel.
I mean, that sounds legit, but also they can't officially schedule that yet because Siren won't let them. So, that can change maybe. Who knows? But John has paused here. I assume he's also in the race room and has seen this and has done a forfeit. Indeed, that's what the screen says.
And because I don't think we said it, Pankraz finishing in first place with an official race spot time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 2 seconds. And we are joined by Pankraz. GG's to you.
Hey, thank you, Allie. GG's.
GG.
So, yeah, you basically god routed that.
Just about. Maybe I did a D-looters at Leviathan. That didn't matter, but that gave me a spoon to make a really clean CPU fight ultimately, so I don't care. It was pretty efficient.
Well, and Cecil even helping out on that CPU fight?
His targeting was something to be admired. I appreciate him. Like, at the moment, I'm like, oh my god, why haven't I killed the defender? It's healing so much hit points. And then things just started working a little bit better. Turn parity went in my favor, and we were getting 2 or 3 swings on the attacker, so it was chipping down. And then Meteor fired before a heal, so it's just like, alright, this is fine.
Well, and 39 treasures. Very nice. You were the one who looted the Carter administration chest, correct?
Yes, the Earth Hammer. Happy 100th birthday, Jimmy.
I was very excited when you did that.
I mean, I've been trying to sprinkle it in here and there. It seems topical for the time, so
Well,
I'm
that's
glad
what
it gave
I
me
said.
something to sell.
Well, and can we talk about you getting rid of that Sid? You know how upset I was?
I think several people were upset. But ultimately I figured with the Kane hero, Sid just wasn't going to get a turn. Like, even I lucked into the Drain Spear from stealing from Kokol, and without that it would have been like a 33 to maybe 18 agility discrepancy. And that's not going to be very good for poor Sid.
And speaking of topical, Goodbye Sid is now playing.
Goodbye, Sid.
But why don't you just kind of walk us through how you felt?
Felt pretty good overall. Sometime around when I was launching the hovercraft, I'm like, wow, I'm playing pretty good today. These fingers are working, and that made me, happy. But the rest of the routing of the seed just kind of played out really well in my favor. Ray setting early in Eblin, looting that right tower, and holy cow, getting everything I could ever ask for the party going forward, like Crystal Armor, Dragoon Armor, Rune Axe, Ninja Hat, Strength. It was just everything to get things rolling. And felt strong, rolled with that strength for a little while. The Gauntlet in Baronin 2 meant that I didn't have to crack an egg to get Palom to Quake, which meant that I could save a Siren and thus set up a double sling eventually on both the Black Mages, which was huge. A lot of just little minutia that led to some big dividends, and I'm very happy with that. And ultimately, bailing on the moon with the Luca key, or the Rat Tail rather, which gives the Luca key, staring down any one of 3 key items, 2 things that are chaseable. It just seemed like the move, and it worked.
Yeah, that was going to be my main question. Was what drove that that dive, because a lot of people seem to like to stay on the moon for a little bit longer, where you like, hey, I got 2 things from here, that's good enough?
I'm one of those people. I'd like to stay on the moon too, but part of it was having skipped Dwarf, having written it off in case it was a white mage or anything to that effect. That was kind of hanging over a couple of the decisions. Once the Luca key pops up, it is any one of 3. If I get the Luca key, or rather the Rat Tail pops up, I get Luca key. If I get Twin Harp, if I get Package, that's half of the remaining key items. So, I reset on an Earth Crystal, I reset on a Tower key, I chase a Pan for 2 more chances, I reset on a Pigtail, unless it gives me like a Crystal Sword. It seemed like a good thing to kind of go and do. It's an easy enough check. Maybe it's a minute and a half down the drain, but with it being game 1 and with it being the finals, it seemed like the time to do something a little bit more aggressive.
Well, it absolutely paid off. I mean, other than that, what did you fight there? It was a sparkle. D-Lunars.
The D-Lunars, yeah.
And even that kind of just giving you that little bit of an edge there in the CPU fight. It was like everything was a hit tonight.
Just about. I mean, the closest would probably be like the Baron main throne gave me, what was that?
A hook.
Something. Oh no, the hook, yeah, and that gave me half the Rat Tail. Okay, never mind, everything worked out.
Everything coming up Pankraz.
That's 2 games in a row. Game 3 versus Pyre, game 1 here, so something's gonna go awry on game 2, I can feel it. But we'll just have to wait till Sunday to see.
Well, and you gotta give the folks at least 4 games.
I will do my best.
But yeah, Antidale, any more questions?
No, I think that's good there. Just excited for game 2 and 3 on Sunday, and looking forward to watching them and watching you and John keep going in this finals.
Yeah, looking forward to, racing some more Free Enterprise. Always a good time to be here and putting on a show. Thank you all for helping put on said show, especially Allie after coming right off the birthday. So thank you all for being here tonight. I'm looking forward to the watch back.
Well, we really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to restream you, and as one of the event team members, we really thank you for all the hard work you've been putting in for this event.
Oh, I'm just, writing some documents, typing some things up, every now and again closing a off-ramp race a little bit late. Shout-outs to you, shout-outs to Scarcer, and everybody else working hard for all those day-to-day administration stuff as well. We wouldn't have had half as smooth an event without you two doing all that hard work.
Aw, heart.
But I'll let you all go. Enjoy the rest of the evening. It's 5:36 here, but later elsewhere. So, thank you all again. Catch you all Sunday. And take care.
Thanks so much. And that was our first place finisher, Pankraz. John has declined an interview tonight. Totally understandable. Definitely something that we don't blame him for, because sometimes you just want to go hang out with your kid and your cats.
Yeah, definitely a good time, and it always feels a little bit like you got steamrolled if you weren't in go mode when your opponent finishes. So hope to see John back and ready in action on Sunday, and maybe ready to talk to us then. Who knows?
Most certainly. But with that, we are finished for tonight. Again, this was game 1 of the finals. Games 2 and 3 will be Sunday, this coming Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It will be a doubleheader. And I'm sure we will be right back here on Free Enterprise for that. But for now, we are going to send you over to one of our sister randomizers, Worlds Collide.
Yeah, we're gonna get Terra instead of Rosa.
I was going to be Terra instead of Rydia, but I mean, you do you.
Fine, Celis instead of Rosa.
that thematically themes. Hair colors are important.
Fair. Yeah, that they're doing. I think you're going to say they're doing a GDQ submission race. Before I cut you off, wanting to interject about Terra. So let's all give them a good cheer and hope they have a good submission for getting into GDQ.
Yep, and we look forward to seeing y'all back here Sunday night. I've been Alicel, again, NG Dave restreaming, Roddy Sniper on tracking, and Antidale on comms. It has been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you everyone here and in the chat, and